I always had an interest in money. I hate to say, it just came natural to me. Numbers come natural to me. And when I went to college, one of the classes was the beginning financial accounting class. And I did really well with it. And I liked it because I could prove the answer. I could get to an outcome. And if debits and credits balanced, for the most part, I got the right answer. So I ended up being an accounting major. And I graduated from Florida State with an accounting degree in 1983. Karen and I met, actually, we both went to Florida State, but we actually met in spring break. We just sort of hit it off, and I walked with her on the beach the next day, and 3 months later, in August, we got engaged, and we got married the following July 2nd, 1983, so we've been married almost 36 years. I had to go straight into the workforce out of college. I was broke, and then I began interviewing, and I ultimately landed a job with a local CPA firm out in Brandon, Florida. I had become friends with Roger Overby. Roger played football at FSU. And he came up to me and said, John, we'd like to talk to you about joining the insurance business. I'm like, I don't know, man. I got this job. I'm a public accountant. And then I did his tax return. And he made 9 times more than I did. So it was after a couple months, I'm like, you know what? I would like to talk to you about that. So Roger and I both got recruited by Merrill Lynch. Interestingly, we both started at Merrill Lynch in Tallahassee, Florida. It's 1992, I'm sort of launched as a financial advisor, and one of the things they asked me to do was to go around the country and talk about financial planning. And once I started doing that, a couple things I realized is how badly people misunderstood financial planning and needed to hear it from someone that actually did it. And I talked to Karen about this. I said, you know, honey, I think that at Merrill Lynch, I could differentiate myself more as a leader than I can as a producer. Leadership at Merrill Lynch is a fascinating role because it's different than most leadership positions. In most leadership positions, that leader has control of his people's compensation. At Merrill Lynch, you don't. So you actually have to lead through influence. And that's why I loved leading at Merrill Lynch. I moved to New York when I got a promotion to run all of private wealth management. We call it the Private Banking and Investment Group in December of 2005. So my colleague who was running our broader wealth management business, he announced his retirement. And the person who was running all of the wealth management businesses at Bank of America was Sally Krawcheck. She pulled me aside, we had a dinner and said, hey, you know, I need you to help thinking about who the best person would be to take over and run the broad wealth management business at Merrill Lynch. And so I called her up and said, all right, I've got the person. She goes, great, who is it? I said, it's me. You should hire me. So I took over the whole thing, which was $15 billion of revenue and about $2 trillion of customer assets. And I had my hands on the wheel of the thing that I dreamed about, that I loved so much. It's really hard to be relevant in the marketplace of job search and the things necessary to win employers' thinking at any university. And when I think about the Legacy Hall and the reason that Karen and I and our family decided to help Dean Hartline get this school built was a feeling that I had all the way back to when I was in school. I didn't get a ton of help and advice around a career. Now the great news is we have a sales program in our school, so we do a lot more of that. But you know, that interview, your ability to articulate your message and your value to an employer is invaluable, but there's no training for that. The reason we picked that career center is we think we can have an impact on that. We think that we can prepare them for what a successful job search might look like. Listen, I'm sitting here because of my family. Karen, the willingness to trust in me, the willingness to go where I needed to go, the faith and commitment you put in my ability to make our family successful, I'm just so grateful. And to my kids, I mean, what I put you through was probably not fair. I've rationalized it, that you are resilient and you can make friends wherever you go and you're not afraid of any adventure. But when I'm really being honest with myself, I put you through a lot, and I want to thank you so much, because none of us would be here if it weren't for the 4 of you.